The UES Horizon sat in Earth's orbit like a small moon. It was the biggest ship humans had ever built. Captain Tae-ho Kim stood on the bridge, looking at the blue planet below. His dark uniform was neat, and the captain's pin on his chest caught the light. "Final systems check," he said. Around him, the crew worked at their stations. Screens lit up their faces as they prepared for the journey. "Engine systems ready," said Ji-woo Park. She was the chief engineer, known for her smart mind and steady hands. "The FTL drive is stable, but I still worry about using it for such a long time." Captain Kim nodded. The faster-than-light drive was new. It would take them farther than any human had gone before. "Science systems online," reported Han Sung. The tall, thin science officer had spent years getting ready for this mission. "All sensors working." "ARIA. Status report," Captain Kim called out. A soft blue light filled the room. "All systems functioning at optimal levels, Captain," said the ship's eye. "The UES Horizon is ready for departure." Outside, smaller ships moved away. They had been helping with final preparations. Now they were leaving, like birds flying from a giant nest. In the engine room, workers checked the massive power cores. The ship could hold 3,000 people. It carried labs, farms, weapons, and hope. Earth had spent 10 years building it. Captain Kim touched the screen on his chair. The face of President Lee appeared. "Captain, is the Horizon ready?" asked the President. "Yes, Madam President. We are ready to depart." "The whole world is watching," said President Lee. "This mission must succeed. Find new resources. Make contact with other life if it exists. Show the stars what humanity can do." Behind her words was worry. Earth's nations had finally united, but problems remained. Resources were running low. People needed hope. The Horizon was that hope. In his quarters, Security Chief Do-hyun Kang checked his weapons one last time. He didn't expect trouble, but his job was to be ready for it. In the medical bay, Dr. Soo-jin Cho organized her supplies. "I hope I don't need most of this," she told her assistant. Communications specialist Yuna Lee sat at her station, sending the last messages home to Earth. Many crew members had family watching the launch. Yuna's own parents would be watching from Seoul. "Launch sequence starting," announced ARIA. Captain Kim took his seat. "All stations, report." One by one, each section of the massive ship confirmed they were ready. "Navigation ready," said Jun Park. "Engineering ready," said Ji-woo. "Life support ready," said Hamin. Each voice added to the moment. Humans had never sent a ship this big, this far. "Engage main engines," ordered Captain Kim. The huge ship began to move, slowly at first, then faster. The blue glow of its engines pushed against the darkness of space. On Earth, billions watched on screens. The Horizon grew smaller and smaller against the stars. "FTL drive charging," reported Ji-woo. "Ready in 30 seconds." Captain Kim looked at his crew. They were the best Earth had to offer. Scientists, soldiers, farmers, engineers, all chosen from every nation. "ARIA, record this moment," he said. "Recording, Captain." "FTL ready," said Ji-woo. Captain Kim took a deep breath. "Engage." The stars around them stretched like rubber bands. The ship seemed to fold into itself. Then, with a flash no human eye could fully see, the UES Horizon vanished from Earth's solar system. The journey had begun. Humanity's greatest ship was on its way to the unknown. No one knew what waited among the stars. But whatever it was, humanity was ready to face it. 3 weeks had passed since the UES Horizon left Earth. The giant ship moved through space like a whale in a dark ocean. Most of the crew had settled into their routines. Some studied stars. Others tended the ship's farms or worked in its labs. Yuna Lee sat at her communications station. Her job was to listen to space. Most days, she heard nothing but empty static. Today was different. "Captain," she called out, pressing her finger to her earpiece, "I'm picking up something strange." Captain Kim walked over to her station. What kind of strange, specialistly? A pattern, sir. It repeats every 12 seconds. She pointed to her screen. See. It's not random noise. Something or someone is making this signal. Captain Kim studied the pattern. It looked like a heartbeat on a medical screen. HFY analyzed this signal. Is it natural? He asked. The ship's AI took only seconds to answer. Negative, Captain. This signal has a 99.7% chance of being artificial. The bridge grew quiet. Everyone understood what this meant. If the signal was made by someone, it would be the first proof of alien life. Can we find where it's coming from? Asked Captain Kim. Yes, sir, said Jun Park at the navigation station. The signal is coming from a point about 2 light days from our position. Captain Kim touched the ship-wide communication button. Attention all crew. We are changing course to investigate an artificial signal. This could be first contact or a human probe lost long ago. Either way, we need to be ready. Security Chief Do-hyun Kang entered the bridge, his face serious. Captain, I suggest we approach with caution. We don't know what's out there. Agreed, said Captain Kim. Take us to yellow alert status. Throughout the massive ship, yellow lights began to flash. Crew members moved with more purpose. In the weapon control room, teams checked the ship's defenses. For 2 days, the UES horizon moved toward the signal. It grew stronger with each hour. Science officer Han Sung barely slept, running test after test. The signal has some math patterns in it, he told the captain. It's definitely made by something intelligent. Finally, they arrived at the signal's source. The main screen on the bridge showed a small object floating in space. Magnify, ordered Captain Kim. The image grew larger. The object was clearly not natural. It had a round center with 3 arms reaching out like spokes on a wheel. Strange marks covered its surface. It's a machine, said Ji-woo Park in wonder, and not one made by humans. Han Sung's fingers flew over his controls. It appears to be some kind of relay or beacon, Captain. It's damage. Some kind of impact hit one side. Any danger to us? Asked Captain Kim. No radiation or signals that could harm us, said Han. It seems dead, except for that basic signal it keeps sending. Captain Kim thought for a moment. This was why they had come so far. To discover new things. To find answers. Prepare the retrieval bay, he ordered. Let's bring it aboard for study. Do-hyun stepped forward. Sir, we should be careful. This could be a trap. That's why we'll take every safety measure, said Captain Kim. But mankind didn't come this far to turn back at the first sign of the unknown. The retrieval team used a small ship to capture the alien object. They placed it in a special room with thick walls. Scientists in protective suits gathered around it, their eyes wide with excitement and fear. As Han Sung scanned the object, he noticed something. Captain, there's data stored inside this device, and part of it looks like coordinates. Coordinates? To where? Asked Captain Kim. Han pointed to a star on his map. To a system not far from here. Captain Kim looked at the alien device. It was smaller than a car, but had just changed everything. Humans were not alone in the universe, and now they had a map to follow. Prepare the ship, he told the bridge crew. We have a new destination. The UEA's horizon followed the coordinates from the alien device. The massive human ship moved through space for 3 days before reaching its destination. A yellow star burned in the distance, with several planets orbiting around it. Scan the system, ordered Captain Kim. Science Officer Han worked quickly at his station. Captain, I'm detecting artificial objects near the 3rd planet. They're ships, at least 7 of them. The bridge crew fell silent. After thousands of years of wondering, humanity was about to meet aliens face to face. Put it on screen, said Captain Kim. The main screen showed a group of small ships. They were rounded like smooth stones with no sharp edges. Soft blue lights glowed along their sides. They were gathered around a larger ship that seemed damaged. "They appear to be in trouble," said Han. "The big ship is leaking radiation, and the planet behind them. It's showing signs of increased solar activity. The star is becoming unstable." Captain Kim stood up from his chair. "Open a channel. All frequencies." Communications specialist Yuna Lee pressed several buttons. "Channel open, sir." "This is Captain Tae-ho Kim of the UES Horizon, representing Earth and humanity. We found your relay and followed the coordinates. We come in peace and offer assistance." They waited. No answer came. "They might not understand us," said Min Kim, the ship's linguistics specialist. She was small with quick eyes and quicker thoughts. "Let me try something." Min sent a series of simple mathematical patterns, numbers that would be the same in any language. Then she sent images showing the human ship and the alien ships side by side. After several minutes, a response came. Strange sounds filled the bridge, like water bubbling and bells ringing. "ARIA, can you make sense of this?" asked Captain Kim. "Working on translation," said the ship's eye. "It will take time to build a complete language model." "We need to get closer," said Min. "I need more samples of their language." Captain Kim thought for a moment. "Take us in, half speed. Keep shields up, but weapons powered down. Let's show them we're friendly." The UES Horizon moved toward the alien ships. As they got closer, they could see more details. The aliens were using small craft to repair their larger ship. Suddenly, one of the alien ships broke away from the others and moved toward the horizon. It was small, perhaps the size of a bus. "They're approaching," said Do-hyun, his hand hovering over the weapon controls. "Hold position," ordered Captain Kim. "Let them come." The alien ship stopped about a kilometer from the horizon. A new transmission came through. "I'm getting simple images now," said Yuna. "They're sending pictures." The screen showed the alien planet, then the sun, then an explosion. The message was clear. Their star was dying. Min worked frantically at her station. "I think I can establish basic communication now. ARIA has found patterns in their language." After hours of back-and-forth messages, the humans began to understand. The aliens called themselves the Maol. Their home planet was facing destruction from solar flares. They had evacuated who they could, but many of their people remained on the planet. When the Maol sent images of the UES Horizon, there were questions in their language. They seemed amazed by the size of the human ship. "They want to know how we built something so big," said Min, now understanding more of their language. "Their largest ships are tiny compared to the horizon. They've never seen a vessel this size before." Captain Kim smiled. "Tell them this is just one of our ships, and that we're here to help." As the translation went out, the metal ship moved closer. A request came through. They wanted to send representatives to meet face to face. "Prepare the diplomatic reception area," Captain Kim told his crew. "History is about to be made." The Mal visitors came in a small shuttle. They landed in the horizon's huge docking bay, which could hold 20 ships their size. Captain Kim, along with Min Kim, Han Sung, and Do-hyun, waited to greet them. When the shuttle door opened, the humans got their first look at aliens. The Malul were shorter than humans, standing about 1.5 meters tall. They had smooth blue-gray skin and large eyes that blinked sideways. 4 long fingers moved gracefully as they stepped out. "Welcome to the UES Horizon," said Captain Kim. Min Kim translated his words into the bubbling sounds of the Maol language. The lead alien responded, and Min translated back. "They thank us for answering their beacon. They say they have been sending signals for months, hoping someone would help." The Medul looked around the huge docking bay with wonder. One pointed up at the high ceiling and made what sounded like a whistle. "They are amazed by our ship," said Min. "They say building something this big would take their people 100 years. Captain Kim led the aliens to a meeting room. There, the male leader, who called himself Elder Tan, explained their situation. Their star was becoming unstable. Solar flares were already making their planet dangerous. Soon, their world would be unlivable. "We have moved some of our people to ships," Min translated. "But we have millions still on the planet. Our ships are too few and too small." Captain Kim was about to respond when alarms blared throughout the horizon. "Captain, to the bridge." Yuna's voice called over the communication system. "Excuse me," Captain Kim said to the aliens. "Please stay here." Captain Kim and Do-hyun rushed to the bridge. On the main screen, they saw new ships arriving in the system. These were different from the male vessels. They were sharp and angular, colored deep red with black markings. 6 ships detected, reported Yuna. "They're larger than the male ships, but still much smaller than the horizon." "They're sending a message," she added, broadcasting on all channels. "Let's hear it," said Captain Kim. A harsh voice filled the bridge. The words were strange, but somehow the meaning came through clearly. "Attention, inferior vessels. This system is now under GEOL collective control. Surrender your ships and resources immediately." The new ships spread out, surrounding both the horizon and the male vessels. Elder Tan rushed onto the bridge, his large eyes wide with fear. "The GEOL." Min translated his rapid speech. "They are hunters, conquerors. They take from weaker species. They rule many systems around us." "Open a channel," ordered Captain Kim. "This is Captain Tae-ho Kim of the UES Horizon, representing Earth and humanity. We are on a peaceful mission. We request direct communication to resolve any misunderstandings." The response came quickly. "Unidentified large vessel. Your size is noted but irrelevant. The GEOL collective does not negotiate. You will surrender or be destroyed. You have 10 minutes to comply." Do-hyun moved to the tactical station. "They're scanning us, Captain, trying to assess our weapons." "Let them scan," said Captain Kim calmly. "Shields at full strength." Elder Tan spoke quickly to Min. "He says the GEOL have never been defeated," translated Min. "They attack species that develop social complexity before military strength. Most races in this sector focus on cooperation, not warfare." Captain Kim nodded. Humanity had to learn both. One of the GEOL ships fired a warning shot. It flashed past the horizon, hitting nothing. "They expect us to panic," said Do-hyun. "This is how they usually start. Intimidation tactics." Captain Kim looked at the scared male and then at his crew. Earth had sent its biggest ship into space, and now it faced its first test. "Inform all crew, battle stations," he ordered. "The GEOL are about to learn that size matters, and humanity doesn't surrender to bullies." Red lights flashed throughout the UES horizon as the crew prepared for battle. People ran to their stations. Doors sealed shut. Weapons came online. "Shields at full power," reported Ji-woo from engineering. Her voice was calm over the communication system. 10 seconds until the GEOL deadline," said Yuna. Captain Kim stood tall on the bridge. Next to him, Elder Tan watched with wide eyes. The Maul had never seen anyone stand up to the GEOL before. "Tactical Officer Jin-woo, status report," called Captain Kim. Jin-woo's fingers moved quickly over his console. He was young but one of Earth's best combat strategists. 6 GEOL ships in attack formation. Their weapons are charged. I count 20 main weapon ports on each ship. "Your plan?" asked Captain Kim. Jin-woo looked up. "Let them hit us first, sir. Let them see how strong our shields are. Then target their lead ship. Show them what we can do." On the main screen, the GEOL ships moved closer. Their 10-minute deadline had passed. "They're firing," called out Yuna. Bright beams shot from the GEOL ships. They hit the horizon's shields, which glowed blue under the attack. The huge human ship shook slightly, but held firm. "Shield status?" asked Captain Kim. "Shields at 92%, said Ji-woo. "Their weapons are strong, but not strong enough." The GEOL fired again and again. Each time, the horizon shook a little more, but remained solid. Shields at 85%, reported Jiwoo after the third attack. Elder Tan made a sound like water bubbling. Min translated quickly. He says the Gyol are confused. Usually, ships this size would be crippled by now. They've never encountered shields like ours. Captain Kim nodded. Now it's our turn. Jinwoo, target their lead ship. 1 main cannon, quarter power. Yes, sir. Targeting. Locked. Firing. A massive beam of energy shot from the horizon. It cut through space and hit the lead Gyol ship. The alien vessel's shields flared bright, and then failed. The ship spun sideways, damaged but not destroyed. Elder Tan's eyes grew even larger. The Maul had never seen Gyol ships damaged so easily. The Gyol responded with a full attack. All 6 ships fired at once. The horizon rocked under the assault. Shields at 70%, said Jiwoo. Rerouting power to strengthen the forward section. Return fire, ordered Captain Kim. Target their weapons systems. Jinwoo directed the horizon's weapons with careful precision. Beams and missiles struck the Gyol ships. 2 of the smaller vessels lost power and drifted away. The Gyol are changing formation, reported Du Yun. They're trying to surround us. Rotate the ship, said Captain Kim. Keep our strongest shields facing their heaviest weapons. The battle continued for 20 minutes. The horizon took damage but remained strong. 3 Gyol ships had been disabled. The others kept attacking, but with less confidence. They're sending a message, said Yuna. The harsh Gyol voice filled the bridge again. Unknown vessel, your resistance is unexpected. What species are you? Captain Kim smiled. This is Captain Taeho Kim of Earth. Humanity does not surrender to threats. Leave this system now, or we will be forced to destroy your remaining ships. There was a long pause. Then the Gyol ships began to move away. They're retreating, said Jinwoo, surprise in his voice. Elder Tan spoke rapidly to Min. She translated. He says this has never happened before. The Gyol always win. They control this entire region through fear. Well, they just learned about a new emotion, said Captain Kim. Respect. The crew cheered as the Gyol ships disappeared into deep space. The UES horizon had won its first battle among the stars. But Captain Kim knew the victory was temporary. We need to prepare, he told his officers. The Gyol will be back with more ships, and we still need to help the Maul evacuate their planet. Elder Tan approached Captain Kim and placed 4 long fingers on his arm in a gesture of thanks. Human and alien stood side by side, looking at the stars where their common enemy had retreated. The hours after the battle were busy. Damaged teams worked to fix the horizon. Though the ship was still strong, some areas needed repair. Medical teams led by Dr. Soo-Jin Cho treated a few injured crew members. How bad is it? Captain Kim asked Jiwoo as they walked through the engine room. We can fix most of it, said the chief engineer. The shields took the worst hits, but they're already at 80% again. The Gyol weapons were strong, but not as strong as what we tested the horizon against back home. Captain Kim nodded. Earth had built the horizon to withstand attacks, not knowing what they might find in space. That caution had paid off. In the meeting room, Elder Tan and 3 other Maul waited. Captain Kim joined them, with Min Kim to translate. Our ships have many injured, Elder Tan said through Min. The Gyol attacked us before you arrived. We have not seen medical care like yours. Can you help? Of course, said Captain Kim. Dr. Cho will assist your people. The medical teams boarded the Maul ships. The aliens watched in wonder as the human doctors used advanced tools to heal wounds. Dr. Cho worked gently, learning about Maul bodies as she helped them. Meanwhile, engineering teams helped repair the damaged Maul ships. The aliens were amazed by how quickly humans fixed problems. Your people work so fast, Elder Tan told Captain Kim. What would take us days takes you hours. Min translated, then added her own observation. I think they're not used to our size and strength. The Maul are smaller than us, with thinner bones. They move more carefully. Back on the bridge, Han Sung studied the male sun. The star's instability is getting worse, he reported. I estimate 3 weeks before major solar flares make the planet unlivable. Maybe 6 weeks until total disaster. Captain Kim frowned. How many Maul are still on the planet? About 8 million, said Han. Their ships can only hold a few thousand each. Elder Tan joined them on the bridge. Through Min, he explained more about the Gaiol Collective. They control this sector of space. Most species here develop social skills first. They focus on cooperation, communication, and peaceful technology. But the Gaiol evolved differently. They focused on weapons and conquest. Like humans, in some ways, said Captain Kim. Our history is full of war. We had to learn peace the hard way. Elder Tan made a sound like gentle bells. But you use your strength to help, not harm. The Gaiol never do this. The alien leader explained that many species in this region of space have been conquered by the Gaiol. Some paid heavy taxes to avoid destruction. Others became workers or soldiers for the collective. We have watched stars for 1,000 years, said Elder Tan. We knew our sun would become unstable. But we had no place to go that the Gaiol would not find us. Han Sung had been quiet, but now he spoke up. Captain, I've been working with the male scientists. We might be able to slow down their star's decay. Not stop it, but buy more time for evacuation. Captain Kim looked thoughtful. That could help, but we need a bigger solution. He turned to Elder Tan. The horizon has large cargo areas. We could carry thousands of your people. And we have room for important cultural items too. Art, records, whatever you need to save your history. When Min translated this, Elder Tan's eyes blinked rapidly, a sign of strong emotion among the male. You would do this for us, strangers. That's what humans do, said Captain Kim. We help when we can. As they began planning the evacuation, alarms sounded again. Yuna's voice came over the communication system. Captain to the bridge. Long-range sensors detect multiple ships entering the system. On the main screen, they saw a fleet of Gaiol ships, at least 20 of them. They were larger than the first group with more weapons. It seems the Gaiol want a rematch, said Captain Kim. And this time, they'd brought friends. 20 Gaiol ships spread out across the system. They moved like hunters closing in on prey. The main Gaiol ship was 3 times larger than the others, but still much smaller than the horizon. They're blocking the path to the male planet, said Du Hyun. They want to cut us off from helping the people on the surface. Elder Tan looked at the screen with fear in his large eyes. This is the largest Gaiol force I have ever seen. They must have called ships from many sectors. Captain Kim gathered his officers in the meeting room. Maps and charts covered the table. The problem was clear: how to save millions of Maul with a dangerous enemy blocking the way. We have 3 weeks before the solar flares make the planet too dangerous, said Han Sung. The Maul need to start the evacuation now. Jaiwu looked at the maps. The horizon's cargo holds could carry about 50,000 people if we pack them in. Not comfortable, but better than being left behind. That's still not enough, said Captain Kim. We need more ships. Min Kim had been talking with the Maul. Elder Tan says there are about 30 Maul ships hidden on the far side of their moon. Small transport vessels they were building in secret. They can hold about 2,000 people each. But they need to be finished and fueled. Captain Kim nodded. That gives us space for about 110,000 people total. Still not enough, but a start. What about the star itself? Asked Jinwoo. Han, you said you were working on slowing down the decay. Han Sung placed a small device on the table. It projected a model of the male sun. Working with the male scientists, we developed a plan. Their star is becoming unstable because of built-up pressure. If we can release that pressure in small, controlled bursts, we might buy more time. How much more time? Asked Captain Kim. Maybe 3 more weeks. Maybe a month if we're lucky. The star will still die, but more slowly. Captain Kim looked at the map again. That would give us 6 to 7 weeks. Still not enough time to save everyone. Yuna Lee, who had been quiet, spoke up. What if we asked for help? The Malul must have allies in other systems. Elder Tan, who had been listening through Min's translations, made a sad sound. Most of our allies are also under Geo control. They cannot risk helping us. Suddenly, Dr. Cho entered the room. Captain, I may have information that helps. While treating the Malul, I learned something. Their people can enter a deep sleep state that slows their body functions. They use it during long space journeys. Captain Kim looked interested. How long can they stay in this state? Months, according to what they told me. And in the sleep state, they need much less space. We could fit many more in the cargo holds. Hope filled the room. With this new information, they quickly created a plan. 1. The Horizon would protect the small mule ships as they finished preparations. 2. Han Sung would work with male scientists to slow the star's decay. 3. The evacuation would focus on families with children first. 4. Most adults would enter the deep sleep state to save space. 5. Essential cultural items and knowledge would be loaded on the Horizon. We might be able to save up to 500,000 this way, said Captain Kim. Not everyone, but many more than we thought possible. Do Hyun pointed to the screen showing the Gael ships. There's still one big problem. The Gael force is blocking the path to the planet. We need to clear them out first. Captain Kim stood up. The Horizon was built to protect Earth. Now it will protect the metal. Jin Woo, prepare a battle plan. We're going to break through that blockade. Elder Tan's eyes shimmered with emotion. No one has ever challenged the Gael like this. Your people are either very brave or very foolish. Captain Kim smiled. Humans are often both. That's what makes us dangerous. The UES Horizon moved toward the Gael blockade. Behind it flew 7 small mule ships. The plan was simple but dangerous. The Horizon would punch a hole through the Gael line. The male ships would then rush through to reach their planet and begin evacuation. On the bridge, Captain Kim sat calmly in his chair. All stations, report. Weapons ready, said Jin Woo. Shields at full power, said Ji Woo from engineering. Medical team standing by, reported Dr. Cho. The captain nodded. Begin the approach. Full speed. The massive human ship accelerated toward the Gael fleet. On the main screen, the enemy ships grew larger. They're changing formation, reported Du Yun, tightening their blockade. The Gael ships clustered together, their weapons pointed at the approaching Horizon. They clearly expected the human ship to slow down or change course. They think we're going to stop, said Jin Woo. They don't realize we're going to ram right through their line. Captain Kim turned to Lieutenant Hyun Choi at the fighter control station. Prepare all fighters for launch. When we break through, they'll provide cover for the male ships. Hyun nodded. He was young, but one of Earth's best pilots. All 12 fighters ready. Sir. The Gael opened communication. Their commander appeared on screen. He looked like a tall, thin creature with red scales and 4 eyes. Human vessel. The Gael commander said, your resistance is pointless. The collective has ruled this sector for 300 years. Turn back now. Captain Kim didn't respond. Instead, he ordered, increase speed. Aim for their center. The Gael commander's eyes widened as he realized the human ship wasn't stopping. The Horizon was 10 times larger than his biggest vessel. They're firing, called Yuna. Beams of energy hit the Horizon's forward shields. The huge ship shook but kept moving. Shields at 80%, reported Jiwoo. They're holding. Return fire, ordered Captain Kim. Target their lead ships. The Horizon's weapons fired. 2 Gael ships exploded. 3 more spun away, damaged. We're approaching their line, said Do-hyun. Impact in 10 seconds. Brace for collision, called Captain Kim over the ship-wide system. The horizon smashed into the Gyeol formation. Smaller enemy ships scattered like leaves in a storm. The human ship's massive bulk simply pushed through their line. "We're clear," shouted Do-hyun. "Path to the planet is open." "Launch fighters," ordered Captain Kim. The Horizon's fighters shot out from launch bays. They were small but fast. They surrounded the 7 male ships, protecting them as they raced toward their home planet. The Gyeol ships recovered quickly. They turned to pursue the male vessels. "The Horizon is too damaged to make another run," reported Jiwoo. "Forward shields at 40%. Captain Kim nodded. "We don't need another run. We just need to hold their attention." He turned to Jinwoo. "Target all weapons on their commander's ship." The Horizon fired everything it had. The Gyeol command ship's shields failed. Parts of its hull broke apart. On the main screen, they could see the male ships reaching their planet. The evacuation could begin. But the battle wasn't over. The Gyeol ships regrouped and attacked the Horizon from all sides. The human ship took hit after hit. "Shields failing on decks 12 through 20, reported Jiwoo. "Hull breaches on deck 15. "Seal those sections," ordered Captain Kim. "Redirect power to engines." The Horizon turned slowly to face the main Gyeol group. Despite the damage, the massive human ship refused to fall. The Gyeol commander appeared on screen again. His ship was damaged, and anger showed in his 4 eyes. "Why won't you die?" he demanded. "No ship can take this much damage." Captain Kim stood up from his chair. "You don't understand what humans are. We built this ship to last. Just like us. We endure, we survive, and we never abandon those who need our help." As if to prove his point, the Horizon fired again. Another Gyeol ship exploded. The commander looked at readouts off-screen. 8 of my ships destroyed. 6 more crippled. He looked back at Captain Kim with new understanding in his eyes. "Fear. The Gyeol are retreating," called Do-hyun. "All ships. They're leaving the system." The bridge crew cheered. The male ships reached their planet safely. The evacuation could begin. Captain Kim sat down heavily in his chair. "Humanity just made its mark on the galaxy," he said quietly. 2 weeks passed. The evacuation of the male homeworld moved quickly. Day and night, small ships flew between the planet and the Horizon. The human ship's huge cargo bays filled with male families. Most adults entered their deep sleep state to save space. The Horizon looked different now. Sections damaged in the battle were sealed off. Repair teams worked around the clock. Captain Kim had given up his quarters to become a male sleeping area. "How many have we saved so far?" Captain Kim asked during the morning meeting. Han Sung checked his tablet. "About 425,000. The male ships have taken another 75,000 to their moon colony. That's 500,000 total." "Out of how many?" asked Captain Kim. 8 million, said Han Sung quietly. "We can't save them all." Captain Kim looked out the window at the male planet. Already their sun was showing signs of instability. Small flares shot out from its surface. "We focus on who we can save," he said finally. "Every life matters." Elder Tan joined the meeting. The old Mayul looked tired but grateful. "My people have collected our most important items," he said through Min's translation. "Art, books, seeds, historical records, all stored in your ship now. We'll hold them safe," promised Captain Kim. In the medical bay, Dr. Cho taught male doctors about human medicine. The aliens learned quickly and shared their own knowledge in return. New treatments were developed that could help both species. In engineering, Jiwoo worked with male engineers. The aliens were amazed by human technology. In return, they showed the humans how to make their engines more efficient. "Their approach to physics is different from ours," Jiwoo told Captain Kim. "Less power, but more elegant. We can learn from each other." On the bridge, Yuna picked up a signal. "Captain, I'm receiving a message." It's being broadcast across multiple systems. On the main screen, they saw alien faces. Not Mayul, not Gaol, but other species. They spoke in different languages, but the message was clear. The news of the Horizon's victory had spread. Other planets under Gael control were fighting back. "The Gael collective is falling apart," said Du-hyun with wonder in his voice. "One battle, and their whole empire is crumbling." "Not because of the battle," said Captain Kim. "Because now they know that Gael can be beaten." As the final day of evacuation arrived, the male sun began to flare violently. Han Sung's plan had bought them time, but now that time was running out. "We need to leave," said Captain Kim. "Prepare for departure." The Horizon turned away from the dying star. Its holds full of male people and their culture. Beside it flew the 30 small male ships, also packed with refugees. As they reached safe distance, they watched on the screens as the male sun erupted in a massive flare. The beautiful blue planet was engulfed in fire. Elder Tan stood on the bridge, watching his homeworld die. Tears fell from his large eyes. "My people live, even if our world does not," he said. "Because of humans, we have a future." 3 months later, the Horizon approached Earth. It moved slowly, its hull still showing battle damage. Inside were over 400,000 male refugees, and the knowledge of a galaxy filled with other life. Captain Kim stood on the bridge as they entered Earth's solar system. Earth appeared on the main screen, a blue jewel among the stars. "Send the message," he told Yuna. The communications officer nodded and spoke clearly. "Earth Control, this is UES Horizon returning from first mission. We are not alone in the universe. We bring friends." As Earth grew larger in the view screen, Captain Kim thought about their journey. Humanity had sent its biggest ship into space, not knowing what they would find. They had found danger and allies, war and peace. The Horizon had left Earth as an explorer. It returned as a symbol of something greater, humanity's place in the stars. Not as conquerors like the Gael, but as helpers, fighters when needed, and friends to those in need. A new era had begun for Earth and for the galaxy.